Power Rangers is coming back to the big screen, and I'm a 50-50 on this one. I generally am. I am 50-50 on this because but we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. There have been some rumors that have been coming out, so please take this with a grain of salt until official news comes out, but we're going to talk about it because why the hell not? So over on Twitter, we have Daniel Richtman, who is dropping some news. Now, this is where I generally have a little bit of kind of concern for this. One thing that I generally don't like when this sort of stuff happens, but hey, you gotta get your bag somehow. Now, basically over on Daniel's page, he has a Patreon link where you have to pay around about $6 to get this information. And I generally really don't think that you should be putting some certain stuff behind a paywall. Same thing as like when it comes to newspapers and stuff like that. Generally really don't like that when you have to pay for their subscription. You're just like, why? But respect on getting the bag. You know, if you've made a bag all on this, happy days. But I'm not going to be paying $6. I'm not going to be paying it. So over here on Ryan's page, which is, I agree with his title, Support Physical Media. Now, the tweet that we're going to be looking at from Jinsaku, basically Ryan says, it's actually true. What does he mean by that? Jin says, Merry Christmas, Ranger fans. I wanted to wait a little longer and hold on to the information until I felt the time was right. But things is moving faster than it seemed. But we are back on the big screen at least. And he references his picture here where it says like breaking a new Power Ranger film is in early development. Source from Daniel RPK, which is what we saw before, and basically it's Paramount. Now, I think that Paramount are probably going to be doing really good with this one. Considering if you've seen Sonic the Hedgehog, then Sonic is a fantastic film and they have just been producing banger after banger after banger. The third film, I think maybe one of my favorites, but still, we're not here to talk about Sonic. But I do think that if Paramount Pictures are actually going to be doing this properly, then cool. I think that we could easily make a decent film as long as you get the right people. Look at Sonic again. Basically, you had people that looked at the lore, that had a look at absolutely everything in this, and then boom, like they've made successful films. So I think that maybe if you get the right people for Power Rangers to look at this and go, yeah, this is correct, and actually develop it. Now, do you do Mighty Morphing? I hope not. I really would not like Power Rangers to have a link to Mighty Morphing. And I know people are going to be like, but it's the original, we have to keep to the faith. No, I think that if you made your own new one with maybe links to the past, it would probably work better. But we know deep down they're going to be doing Mighty Morphing. Fine. I don't think it's a great thing, but you know, if you can shock me and make me actually go see the film, which I will do, and actually make it look good, then all for it. I'm all for it. So there are multiple tweets that are going out, but this is the one that kind of made me laugh, and it's of I'm guessing the animator who said that there was an animated project says this is the Power Rangers reboot. And it's this woman from Jimmy Neutron going, Hasbro, this is the 7th week in a row you've shown the Power Rangers reboot in class. And I know that there's loads of memes of it. Fine, I understand that. But I generally thought it was quite funny when I saw it. Now, I want to talk about the possible dealings of an animated series as well. I do think Power Rangers needs to go down the animated route. I feel like it's the only avenue that would probably save it. I know people are like, but I want the live action, and I wholeheartedly get that, don't get me wrong, but I think that an animated route would be the best way because that's how you draw more people in. There are loads of different animated like cartoons out there, or animated like films, TV shows, whatever, that generally have done really, really well. That kind of brings in a lot more of an audience. And no matter where you go, I would like animation. I wouldn't want 3D animation because I find a lot of time when you do these sorts of worlds, like these sorts of projects, that mainly the world feels empty, and that's not what I kind of want. Every single time that I've seen a successful animated series, there's loads of things going on, but when you have a world that is completely empty and it's just occasional, like the same 3 people that are running away all the time, I feel like it doesn't do very well, and it kind of makes the world just feel boring and I'm not going to watch it. But that's the thing, like if they do it animated, I'm all for this. I would generally like one. But with all this news coming out of Paramount apparently grabbing the IP and doing this, what does it mean for Hasbro? Well, Hasbro don't really want to do anything with movies. They've completely done. Hell, like they outsourced all the Power Ranger toys to Playmates, which shows quite a lot on that one, because why would you want to do that if you weren't focused on making it yourself? So I imagine that the rights to Power Rangers would just be given to anyone who really, really wants them in the end. It's interesting. For about a year now, we've not had anything Power Rangers related, maybe bar the video game, which again did really, really well now compared to when it was released, where it didn't do very well. And we've not really had that much stuff bar the comics. So maybe 2025 is something that we see at least people talking about it. People are now talking about the Jonathan Entwistle and Jenny Klein, though that's not happening. Like literally, they've removed, I think, everything from their Twitter. All their sort of stuff is completely gone, and we're no longer having it. I've done a video if you want to go check it. I'll link it in the description. But I feel like now we're not going to be seeing anything from their way, not unless their work has been written down and they're transferring it to someone else. But I generally just don't think that we are going to be getting anything Power Rangers for quite some time. I think it'll probably be another year before we hear anything. It'll be another year till we get something. Maybe in 2025, we'll get a little bit of information from the people talking about this, or generally maybe some kind of like who's going to be the director, who's going to make it, or maybe the director, maybe something else. But for now, this is all just rumors, speculation. Take it with a grain of salt. But my main question to you guys are, what do you think about this? Are you going to be watching this film when it comes out? Are you excited that Paramount have done this? What are your kind of thoughts? And do you think that it's going to be original, or do you think it's going to be Mighty Morphing and then they maybe move into, I don't know, say Zeo, Turbo, or whatnot? What do you think about this? Because I'm quite curious to know. So I'm going to bring the video to a close. If you like this sort of content, like and subscribe. Let's talk about this in the comments. If you want to help out the channel, then there is the Patreon as well as the channel memberships. And with that, I'm going to bring the video to a close. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat. Your help goes a long way to help support the channel, and if you want to help support the channel, the links to my Patreon and channel memberships are listed below in the description.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。